Macros are the bomb diggity. I even feel silly saying that. Welcome to Reaching Wonderland, and my goal is to help you get to below 199 on the scale and stay there with tips and tricks and a whole lot of information because I spent 42 years trying to get below 199 on the scale and stay there. And now at 50, I can gratefully say I have been here for almost 7 years, and it is an amazing place to be. I want to help you reach your goals. So, when I say macros are the bomb diggity, I actually have some ideas behind that I'd like to share with you. Macros provide a flexible structure. They done right, balance your hormones, and they prevent plateaus or break plateaus when they're done right. So let's talk about that and dive in just a little bit and explain why I actually chose macros and why I still use them today, because they help me maintain my weight loss. The flexible structure of macros allows you to enjoy important holidays. Case in point, there's one coming up. They are, I enjoyed my holiday for Thanksgiving. I will enjoy my Christmas holiday. I will enjoy the fact that my son is coming home today, actually. And at one point this week, I'm sure we're going to have smothered burritos because smothered burritos are what we do. But I will still weigh the same New Year's Day that I weighed before Halloween. And I think that's really, really important because you feel like you're on this roller coaster of up and down, up and down, up and down. And the flexible structure of macros allows you to stay off that flippin' roller coaster. Nobody wants to live on a roller coaster 365 days a year. They're fun for the moment if you like that sort of thing, which I don't, but it's not something that you want to live on forever. So, they allow you to enjoy those special moments without guilt. Now, it's also called flexible dieting, which is a whole soapbox I won't really get into, but in my opinion, and research studies show that whole foods made with love prevent cravings and help you stay on track. So it's really important to do this whole foods thing because I will tell you this, I was the processed food queen for 42 years. Processed foods equal cravings. We're just going to go there. Processed foods equal cravings. If you get it out of a box or out of a package and you're fighting with cravings, take a step back and try to figure out where you can slip in more whole foods. The more whole foods you eat, the fewer cravings you have. So, the next thing that macros do is, if they're done right, they balance your hormones. What do I mean by done right? When you calculate macros, you're supposed to incorporate your activity level into your macro calculation to determine how many calories you're eating and what the division of protein, fats, and carbs are. If you are not adding that in and you are cutting your calories low because you think 5 pounds a week is flippin' amazing, you're burning out your hormones, both your nutritional hormones and your female hormones. If you are hungry all the time, you're either not eating enough or your body thinks it's always hungry because the hormones in your body that control whether you're hungry or whether you're full have been burnt out. So macros done right in a way that you're losing between 1 and 2 pounds a week will balance out those hormones so that your female hormones don't prevent you from losing weight, because if those are off kilter, losing weight is going to be a major pain in the rear and it's not going to happen. And if your hunger hormones are off, guess what? You're hungry all the time, so you're cutting your calories really low, and then out of the blue, you have a binge moment, because there is nothing worse than a woman on that time of the month that is really hangry. And that typically leads to binging and eating everything in the closet. And, we use our periods as an excuse and all of that. But a lot of times it's because we're cutting our calories so low that we are not getting enough food in our system to keep us from going into that binge cycle. If you are a binge cycle person and it's not emotionally related 100%, it could very well be that when you are trying to lose weight, you're cutting your calories so low because you really want to lose that, 5 pounds, or, you're working out extra hard and you're cutting your calories really low. Sometimes even 1,500, 1,800 calories can be too low if you're working out all the time. I love to lift. If I lift for more than 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week, then I have to up my calories over 2,000 calories a day because my body will start eating the muscle in my system and it won't necessarily eat the fat because it will eat the muscle. So macros done right balance out your hormones. Going back to this previous piece, balance out your hormones so that your female hormones don't prevent you from losing weight and your hunger hormones don't cause you to binge all the time. So that is like a big key piece of how they balance out your hormones. As long as you're calculating them correctly and including your activity, and you're being very honest about what you weigh, then over time it balances out those hormones so that they don't prevent you from losing weight or they don't cause you to overeat because you're starving. All right, now the big one, the big juicy piece: breaking plateaus or preventing plateaus. I know that's probably the reason why you're here because, when I say macros can prevent plateaus or break plateaus, people are like, oh, but here's the deal. First of all, they have to be calculated correctly because you have to be eating enough to lose weight and you have to be eating enough to balance out the hormones, which is the previous piece. And if you have been on an eternal diet and you are on a plateau that has been going on for a while, and you absolutely 100% know that you are consuming less than what you're burning because you're working out and you're moving your body, and let's say you're on 1,200 calories, then it's going to take some time. Because if you are on 1,200 calories, you're working out and you're doing all of the things, you've got to balance out those hormones, going back to the previous piece, in order to break the plateau. However, if you start a journey on macros before you ever hit a plateau and you do a safe calorie deficit based on what you're actually working out and how you're actually eating, and you're eating the macros that work for your body, plateaus are much shorter. And oftentimes we don't even realize that we hit a plateau for a few days because we're fueling our body just enough to lose weight, but we are not cutting our calories so low. A plateau is usually caused by your body trying to catch up with the nutrition that you're giving it. Either your hormones have to balance out to the level that you're feeding it, or it could be that what you're feeding your body does not align with what it needs. Some people need balanced macros. They need to eat basically the same amount of calories from fat, protein, and carbs. However, some people need higher protein and lower carbs and fat. Or it could be any combination of the four. It really depends. Like I have a certain time of the month where I need balance. But then I have another time of the month where I need higher protein. And typically I need higher protein during my cycle. And that is also during the time where I have to lift less, because it becomes a case of uh, when women are going through their cycle, they should actually be lifting a little less weight than when they are not in their cycle. So, overall, when you look at macros, I personally love the fact that macros are allow us to go through this process of figuring out what our body needs and how we can actually move forward on this journey. And if you are not against weighing your food, it is a very, very easy way to stay on track, whether you are losing weight or maintaining weight. Now, because I was overweight for 42 years, what I see with my eyes when I look at food isn't always what's there. So I weigh my food even today, whether I am training or not training, because it keeps me on track. I am a big one for lying to myself. I do not see hand portion sizes as they are on the plate. There's nothing wrong with that. That is, for 42 years, I ate whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, as much as I wanted. And that is how I ended up weighing 286 pounds. Plain and simple. So now I know that I need to actually watch what I'm doing. And so I choose to weigh my food. But overall, macros have kept me stable for 7 years as far as my weight, even when I eat like crap for Thanksgiving and eat burritos the week after Thanksgiving, and even when I know Christmas is coming, because I keep them balanced throughout time. And if I know I have a day coming up that's going to have that, then I am extra careful throughout the week to eat right according to my macros throughout the week. So macros are the Bomdigity because they give you a flexible structure. They, done right, balance your hormones, and they prevent plateaus or break plateaus when they're calculated correctly also. So I absolutely hope that this particular episode of Reaching Wonderland has given you some kind of a clue of, I say it does not matter what diet you choose or what method you choose, as long as it works for you. Macros have been my method that have worked for me over time. The biggest problem I've had with macros is having coaches calculate them, and they calculated them too low. And I actually passed out. I had one coach calculate macros so low because they refused to include the activity level. And because they didn't include the activity level, I was eating like 1,000 calories less than I should have been. So I was, instead of 2,000 calories less than what I needed a day, instead of 1,000 calories less a day, I was actually eating 2,000 calories less than what my body needed at that particular moment in time, and I passed out. So when you calculate your macros, make sure to include your activity level. If calculating in numbers is not your thing, I was a math major. I love numbers, and I actually have created a tool that I use that uses my special formula. And that's what I use in the 30-day macro challenge that starts in January. If numbers aren't your thing and they scare you and you don't know how to go through the testing process to figure out what works for you and what doesn't, I do actually have, starting in January, a 30-day macro challenge that is going to give you 4 sets of numbers, and I do all the calculations because I love numbers. And I would love to have you in there. The waitlist link will be at the bottom of the podcast, so make sure that you hop in, and we will hopefully see you there. If not, and you want to venture out and calculate your own macros, and you have questions, just ask them in the group and I will try to do my best. I don't coach in there. I can't help you one-on-one in there. That's what the macro challenge is for, but I will answer questions in there. So I am going to send you off with love and hugs. Oh, and the link for the Facebook group will actually also be in the bottom of the podcast. So make sure that if you aren't in there, you hop in there, because that's where I tend to answer questions, hang out, and be a goofball. Here pretty soon you will see me in my unicorn onesie, because we all want to be macro unicorns. So you ladies have an amazing day, and if there's any gents out there, you as well. And I'm going to send you off with love and hugs, and the reminder that it's the small, consistent steps that you take every day that will get you to your goal. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.